A faint sound of boys playing basketball was coming from a distance. Some students were walking in the playground, some girls were gossiping in a group. It was lunch break and everyone doing their own activity while you were standing at the rooftop looking down at everyone, but your mind was somewhere else. You were going through a very hard time to figure out your thoughts. Liking someone and not being able to tell them, it's so disturbing and consumes a lot of your time. He looked at the sky and sighed. Why it is so difficult to express your feelings, but why would he even choose me when a lot prettier girls who are there for him? Jungkook quietly stepped onto the rooftop when he noticed your presence. He was looking for you only and your bestie told him that you disappeared without telling her anything. Jungkook knew where he'll find you. Hey Ryan, he said softly, but you startled by the sudden voice and quickly turned around. Oh, Jungkook, I didn't hear you come here. He walked closer while a gentle smile on his face. I didn't mean to scare you. What are you doing up here all alone? You shrugged, trying to appear calm, but inside you were nervous as hell. It just needed some air. It's peaceful up here. Jungkook nodded, standing beside you. Yeah, it is. I come up here sometimes too when I need to clear my head. I see, you said nervously, fidgeting with your hands. Jungkook is a senior and the hearthrobe of school. You have a crush on him, but whenever he comes in front of you, you get so nervous that you're hardly able to say anything. There was a brief silence as both of you stand together, the soft breeze brushing against you. Jungkook steals a few glances at you, trying to find the right words. He also looked a little nervous. You know, I've been meaning to talk to you about something. Jungkook said, finally breaking the silence while your heart started to beat fast and your palm got sweaty. Oh, what is it? Jungkook took a deep breath. It's about us. Your heart dropped as you know what's coming. Maybe he gets to know that you like him and he wants to make it clear that you should stop thinking about it. You quickly interrupted. Oh, I just remember I left something in the library. I should go before it closes. Jungkook looked taken aback, confusion in his eyes. But Ryan, you quickly cut him off again. I'm sorry, Jungkook. We can talk later, okay? I really have to go. Without giving him a chance to respond, you hurriedly walked past him, practically fleeing the rooftop. Jungkook stood there watching you leave, feeling a mix of frustration and sadness. He sighed, turning towards the railing. Later, sure. He looked so disappointed. Minnie waved her hand when she saw you walking in the cafeteria. You noticed her and walked near her before sitting beside her. She noticed the nervous look on your face. Yeah, until when you're planning to behave like a maniac. You looked at her confused. Who are you talking about? A ghost beside you. You rolled your eyes. Where were you and why you are acting like you have committed a crime and now silently came here pretending everything is normal? Don't know about anything, but I'll surely kill you if you don't stop teasing me. She laughed. Minnie was walking in the hallway when she noticed Jungkook, who was standing leaning against a locker. He looked tensed about something. She walked near him. What's up, Jungkook? You look like you have got the weight of the world on your shoulders. She asked, noticing his mood while looked at her and sighed deeply. Minnie is a good friend of him as well. It's fine. Every time I try to talk to her about, well, you know, about us, she just runs away. I don't know what to think anymore. Minnie looked surprised for a while. She knew that Jungkook has feelings for you and you also likes him. But the fact that he feels the same for you, you are unaware of that fact. Did something happen? Jungkook looked down and sighed. Nothing. She doesn't even stand in front of me. She's probably just nervous, Jungkook. I know Ryan better than anyone, and I'm telling you, she likes you a lot. Jungkook shook his head. But how do you know that for sure? Whenever I try to get close or say something meaningful, she shuts down and leaves. Maybe I'm just seeing things that aren't there. Maybe she doesn't feel the same way. No, you're wrong, Jungkook. She's just scared. Ryan had a crush on you for so long. She doesn't know how to handle her feelings when you are around. That's why she acts like that. She tried to make him believe. But how can I be sure? I mean, what if she just doesn't want me to confess? What if she doesn't want things to change between us? Minnie sighed, crossing her arms. I have a plan, something that will prove once and for all how she feels about you. Jungkook raised an eyebrow. A plan? What kind of plan? She smirked. You'll see, just trust me on this, okay? A few days later, during lunch in the school courtyard, you were sitting on a bench trying to read a book, but your mind was elsewhere, filled with thoughts of Jungkook and the strange tension between you guys. Minnie and Jungkook walked towards you, smiling brightly. You looked up, forcing yourself to smile back. Minnie sat beside you, grinning, almost bursting with excitement. Wine, I have something to tell you. You looked at Jungkook and then at her before putting your book down. What's going on? She glanced at Jungkook and then back at you with a wide smile. Well, I kind of asked Jungkook out. You were confused. Jungkook is also a friend with her, but you don't know why she was making it sound so excited when she never did before. You asked Jungkook out? Yep, and guess what? He said yes. We are going to a movie this weekend. She said excitedly while your heart skipped a beat, knowing the true meaning behind her words. You looked at Jungkook. You forced a smile, but inside you felt like you were breaking apart. Jungkook said yes to Minnie. Suddenly, every fear and insecurity you have ever had come crashing down on you. Maybe Jungkook really doesn't like you. Maybe you were a fool to ever think he might. Wow, that's great. I'm really happy for you. Your voice trembled slightly even though you tried to sound normal. Jungkook watched you carefully, noticing the subtle change in your expression, the way your eyes dull just a little, the way your smile doesn't quite reach your eyes. He feels a pang of guilt in his chest but keeps up the act, knowing this is all a part of the plan. You should totally come with us, Ryan. We could all hang out together like a group date. You were trying to control your tears and Jungkook was feeling so guilty, but he was trusting Minnie. You never given him a chance to let him speak, so he was forced to choose this way. I don't think I can. I have some stuff I need to take care of this weekend. Minnie frowned slightly, trying to keep the mood light. Are you sure? It will be fun. You stood up, clutching your things tightly, didn't dare to look at Jungkook as you were heartbroken. All the hopes are gone now. Yeah, I'm sure I need to go. Before anyone can say anything else, you turned and quickly walked away, your head down. You felt like you were suffocating, your chest tight with a mix of hurt, jealousy and regret. You didn't know Minnie liked Jungkook too, and now you're convinced that Jungkook never liked you at all. You were just fooling yourself this whole time. Jungkook watched you go, a feeling of guilt knot in his stomach. She seemed really upset. Minnie noticed his worry. She gently touched his arm. Jungkook, trust me, she just needs some time to process this. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. But what if we are wrong? What if she doesn't actually like me? Every time I try to talk to her about how I feel, she just runs away. What if I'm just pushing her further away? You are not wrong, Jungkook. I've known her for years. She's crazy about you. She's just scared and she's probably feeling really insecure right now. This plan will help her face her feelings even if it hurts a little bit at first. Jungkook was still uncertain but tried to trust her. I hope you're right, Minnie. I don't want to hurt her. I just want her to know how much she means to me, but I think I should wait. This doesn't feel right and I don't want her to go away from me instead of coming closer. She will. Just give her some time. Trust me, Jungkook. Everything will work out. Jungkook nodded, though his heart was heavy. Okay, I trust you. Later that night, you were laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, tears silently slipping down your cheeks. You feel like everything you feared has come true. Jungkook is with Minnie now, and there's no way you can compete with your best friend. You're convinced that you have lost any chance you had with Jungkook forever. Meanwhile, Jungkook was laying in bed too, staring at his phone, thinking about you. He hopes that Minnie is right and that all of this will be worth it in the end. But as he closes his eyes, all he can think about is how sad you looked when you walked away earlier. The next day at school, you arrived earlier than usual, hoping to avoid any awkward encounters. As you walk through the hallway, you keep your head down, pretending to be engrossed in your phone. Your heart is heavy, the memory of yesterday's conversation with Minnie still fresh in your mind. You can't stop thinking about Jungkook and Minnie together, and the thought alone makes your stomach twist. You turn the corner and spot Jungkook at his locker talking with a few friends. Your first instinct was to walk over and greet him like you usually do, but the memory of him accepting Minnie's proposal stopped you in your track. Instead, you quickly turn on your heel and head into the opposite direction, ducking into a nearby classroom to hide until the first bell rings. Jungkook notices your retreating figure out of the corner of his eyes and feels a pang of disappointment. He had hoped to talk to you in the morning, but it seems you are avoiding. During lunch, you were sitting with Minnie and a few other friends in the cafeteria, but your mind wasn't really in the conversation. Minnie noticed your distracted state and nudged you lightly. Hey, you seem a little off today, everything is okay? You forced a smile and nodded. Yeah, I'm fine. Minnie was concerned but tried not to push too hard. If you need to talk about anything, I'm here, you know. You nodded and forced a smile, although you avoid her gaze. Minnie gave you a reassuring smile, but she can tell something was bothering you. You were quieter than usual, and you keep glancing around the cafeteria as if looking for someone or trying to avoid someone. She followed your gaze and spotted Jungkook sitting at a table across the room with his friends. She sighed inwardly, realizing that the situation is more difficult for you than she thought. You were coming down the stairs from the rooftop, the cold metal railing under your fingers. Your mind was a swirl of emotions trying to process everything that had happened. As you reached the middle of the staircase, you suddenly saw Jungkook coming up the steps. For a moment, neither of you moved. His eyes were searching yours, trying to understand, but the intensity of it all became too much. You broke the eye contact, looking away, your heart pounding in your chest. You took a step to this side, trying to pass him, but he blocked your path, his voice steady. Ryan, can we talk for a second? You paused, not looking at him, your voice cold and distant. There's nothing to talk about, Jungkook. Without waiting for his response, you turned and walked past him, each step feeling heavier than the last. You didn't look back, even though you could feel his eyes on you, a silent plea in them, but you kept moving, convincing yourself it was for the best, even as your heart told you otherwise. After school, you and Minnie were walking home together, and the silence between you were heavy. Minnie finally breaks it. You have been really quiet today, more than usual. Are you sure everything's okay? You hesitated, then sighed and finally decided to confront her. I'm just trying to process everything, you know. You and Jungkook, I didn't know you liked him. Ryan, you know how much you mean to me, right? I didn't mean to surprise you like that. You force a smile, though it doesn't reach your eyes. It's fine, Minnie, really. I'm happy for you. Okay, but if you ever need to talk about anything, I'm here. We are best friends, and I don't want anything to come between us. She was not happy with what she was doing, but she knew this was the only way you'll come face to face with your feelings. A little jealousy is needed. Nothing will, Minnie. Don't worry. Over the next few days, you continue to avoid Jungkook as much as possible. You change your usual routes, around school, sit with different people at lunch, and leave class quickly before he has a chance to catch up with you. Minnie noticed this and tried to support you, but she can see the strain it's putting on you. She's avoiding me, Minnie. I can't even get her to look at me. How is this supposed to help? Minnie tried to stay positive, though she was worried too. I know it's hard, but you have to trust the process, Jungkook. She's just really scared right now. We'll figure it out, okay? No, I don't trust anything now. Now I'll use my way. I don't want her to go away from me. I won't force her, but won't let her go without telling her my feelings. I'll respect her decision, but she has the right to know my feelings. He walked away from there while Minnie sighed. Even I didn't know she's good at keeping her feelings secret. I hope she realizes and accepts him. The tension had been building for days. You had been avoiding Jungkook like a plague, your heart breaking a little more each time you caught a glimpse of him. Minnie had tried to reassure you, but the ache in your heart was too strong, and you couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Even though you weren't mad at her, it was just too painful to see them together. It was the end of another school day and you were rushing to leave before you could run into Jungkook. You had managed to avoid him all day, but as you rounded the corner to the exit, you almost bumped straight into him. Jungkook's expression was serious, almost desperate. Ryan, wait, we need to talk. Your heart skipped a beat, his tone left no room for escape, but your instinct screamed at you to get away before you broke down. You shook your head trying to push past him. Jungkook, I can't do this right now. I need to go. But Jungkook grabbed your wrist gently but firmly, refusing to let you walk away. No, Ryan, I'm not letting you go this time. You have been avoiding me for days and I can't take it anymore. We need to talk now. Your pulse quickened as you tried to pull your hand away, but he was stronger and more determined. He wasn't giving you a choice this time. Panic rose within you, your voice trembling as you pleaded. Jungkook, please. No, I'm not letting you run away again. Just listen to me for once. He started pulling you towards an empty classroom nearby. Your protest died in your throat as you realized how serious he was. The hallway was emptying out and you felt your resolve crumbling. By the time he pushed open the door and pulled you inside, your heart was pounding, not just from fear but from something else, something that felt suspiciously like hope. Jungkook closed the door behind you, making sure no one else could hear before turning to face you. His eyes were intense, filled with an emotion you hadn't seen before. You tried to look away, but he stopped closer, making it impossible to escape. Ryan, he said softly but firmly, why have you been avoiding me? Why won't you even look at me? You struggled to find your voice, your eyes fixed on the floor. I just thought you and Minnie. There's no me and Minnie. Don't you get that? This was all a plan, Ryan. A stupid, desperate plan because I couldn't figure out how to make you see how I feel about you. He looked frustrated. Your head snapped up, eyes wide, as you stared at him in shock. What? What do you mean? Jungkook took a deep breath, running a hand through his hair as he tried to collect his thoughts. I mean, I've been trying to tell you that I like you, Ryan. More than like you. I've been falling for you for so long, but every time I try to get close, you pull away. You leave. You avoid me, and I didn't know what else to do. So when Minnie suggested this plan, I went along with it, thinking maybe it would make you realize how I feel. You felt like the ground had just dropped out from under you. All this time you thought he was with Minnie, that you had lost him, but it was all just a plan for you. So, you and Minnie, your voice shook as Jungkook shook his head, stepping closer. There's nothing between us. She was just helping me because she knew how much I care about you. But Ryan, every time I tried to talk to you, you wouldn't let me. Why? Tears filled in your eyes as you realized how your own fear had led to this painful misunderstanding. I was scared, Jungkook. I was so scared that if I told you how I feel, you'd reject me, that you'd choose someone like Minnie over me. I didn't think I could handle that. Jungkook's expression softened and he gently pulled your hands away from your face, holding them in his. Ryan, I would never choose anyone over you. I've been trying to tell you that for so long, but you kept running away. I thought you didn't like me, that you were just being polite or something. You finally met his eyes, and the sincerity you saw there made your heart ache. I've liked you for so long, Jungkook, but I didn't know how to tell you. Every time you got close, I just panicked. You don't have to panic anymore. I'm right here, and I'm not going anywhere. He stepped even closer, his forehead resting gently against yours. You closed your eyes, letting the warmth of his presence soothe the fear and pain that had been gnawing at you for days. Please don't avoid me anymore, Vian. I can't stand the thought of losing you. You nodded, tears slipped down your cheeks. I won't run away anymore. Jungkook gently wiped away your tears with his thumb, his eyes full of tenderness that made your heart swell. Good, because I don't want to chase you anymore. I just want to be with you. You finally allowed yourself to smile, the weight on your chest lifting as you leaned into his touch. I want that too. Jungkook let out a breath he didn't know he was holding, really flooding his system as he pulled you into a tight embrace. For the first time in days, you felt a sense of peace knowing that you didn't have to hide your feelings anymore.